Another fan-made watch is on the horizon, and it is the Soultrix, made by ZT Teen on Twitter, and trust me, it has a very interesting story and lore. It was created by Azimuth in this universe, and it would allow them to transform into different species similarly to the Omnitrix we all know and love. The watch serves to be something similar to Noah's Ark, but not in the way we have seen in the original series, but it is literally housing living consciousnesses within the watch itself. These are created from a copy of the user's DNA and a combination of the innate instincts of the species inside the watch itself. They each live within a simulated terrain and are able to communicate with Ben, sort of like an avatar state. However, here's the catch. When Ben does transform, he becomes an amalgamation of the species. They get the alien powers and appearance, but that is all dependent on the relationship that the user has with the consciousness, and that splits into 3 different forms and modes that the Soultrix has to access. The first mode is called the hybrid mode. This combines both species' DNA and human DNA, and it is the primary form of transformation from the Soultrix, and is the most basic form as well. However, the modes upgrade as the relationship with each alien develops, introducing the alien mold form, which allows the user to access all of the alien's powers after achieving a good connection with the alien consciousness. This explores some of the heights of power that the alien forms can reach, however, with a drawback of consuming more energy from the watch itself. And lastly, the Titan form, which is the mode that is accessed when the will of the user exceeds that of the alien and causing it to turn into a battery that powers the main ability of the alien. Now, I'm actually not sure what this means, but I can assume that it's some sort of mode that unleashes the full power of the alien for what seems to be a longer amount of time. But comment down below what you think. The real question pops up though is who uses this watch. Introducing Benjamin Kirby Tennyson, the user of the Soultrix. He is very energetic and immature, but as he continues to foster his relationship with the aliens, he is able to grow as a person and become an even better hero. Even though, just like our main timeline, the watch itself wasn't destined for him, but it couldn't have found a better user, as Ben is noble and wants to use his power for good. He has learned much from his aliens, such as combat from the Tetraman, fencing from Diamond Head, and his trademark goggles are a gift from Heat Blast after his first ever transformation, and he treasures them dearly. He has a friendly rivalry with his cousin Gwen, but before we get into the other characters that are in the show, let's talk about some of these hybrid aliens. Heat Blast. This is the hybrid form of the user with the DNA of a Pyronite. This spirit is a crazy jokester, and even though he gets on very well with men, he still can't reach to the mold phase. As strange as it may seem, the hybrid is not made of fire. His skin is constantly burning and his hair is also on fire. With the DNA merger, it allows him to not feel the pain and constantly regenerate the damage from this hybridization form. The form conserves the parts of the species like a shell and is able to have Pyronite hands even though they cannot reach the same temperature and control it as well as the original Pyronite. Moving on to Hybrid Wild Mode. This hybrid is between the user and a Vulpomancer DNA sample, and named by Ben as Wild Mode. Due to the innate nature of the Vulpomancer species, this spirit acts a lot like a dog. It seems, however, that Ben underestimates the Wild Mode spirit quite a bit, and I emphasize that although the Vulpomancer may not be the most intelligent of the species from the Soultrix, he still has an awareness of his environment, and in fact, Wild Mode created a protective mask so that the user does not have problems to indulge too much in the echolocation ability that he has. It seems that the fusion of the specimen ends up giving him a regular face and eyes, but since they don't work, they are pretty much useless. It gained, however, more developed ears, meaning that if the user concentrates just enough, he can dodge almost any physical attack. He is a lot less durable than the original Vulpomancer. Accelerate. This is a hybrid between the user and the Kinoceleran DNA, and the soul seems to make jokes every 5 minutes, and loves action. He likes to make Ben laugh, and tries to flirt with any living being he sees. Since the speed could not be generated to the 100% of the power, it decided to make up for that by giving Ben the same spheres from his feet on his hands as well, allowing him to maneuver even better than the Kinoceleran species. However, with the fact that these spheres are made of a different material, they do not have the same speed as the regular Kinoceleran, being a little faster than a bullet, which is still pretty fast. The soul doesn't seem to like Gwen at all though, but thinks Max is pretty cool. The hybrid 4 Arms. Bold and brave, but foolish. He loves food and combat. This soul is known as 4 Armed, and is a true warrior, and teaches Ben whenever he can different combat techniques. It is said that a trained Tetraman can beat a Toku star, and although at first Ben was bored with training, he slowly started to get some sort of interest in what 4 Arms had to teach him. Ghost Freak. This hybrid is supposedly human and ectoneurite DNA. The soul itself seems to have memories of some kind of past life, and that generates a persona that can chip in and turn Ben evil. But the predominant personality of the spirit is very noble. Ben tries to put him onto a good path. One thing that might come as a shocker to you is that this ectoneurite can manipulate mana. The hybrid upgrade. Before the Soultrix existed, his predecessor, the Omnitrix, did not adapt 100% of the abilities of the Mechamorph. Now that one truly connects with the user, we expected the transformation to not have any problems. However, this transformation has dubious abilities. Human DNA prevents the transformation from fully connecting with objects. However, it can connect with various parts of them and upgrade them to combine them and change the shape of it completely. Now, let's describe the team just a little bit. Grandpa Max, in this universe, an old man with years of experience. But however, he is pretty much retired right now. After Ben found the Soultrix, Max restarted his training during the nighttime. Julie Yamamoto is Ben's best friend. They don't see each other very often because he is traveling. But since she's also on the road, they do end up meeting from time to time. She has a similar personality to Ben. Very excited and very brave. And is always willing to defend her friends. Kevin. He is supposed to be an Osmosian, but once he absorbed the Soultrix, he ended up manifesting his own soul known as Serva. Since he touched the Soultrix, he has the ability to transform various parts of his body into alien appendages, although he has no control of which. Gwen Tennyson. She is now a hero after gaining the Stones of Bezel after the confrontation between the team and Hex. She fights alongside Ben and is in search of the rest of the stones so that she can keep them out of the wrong hands. I like this concept a lot, and it is really cool and interesting. I like the fact that the aliens can communicate with men, and it sort of reminds me of the Avataritrix that I created. And you can click here to learn more about that specific watch.